Alright, what's going on, you guys? Welcome to Madrid Hub again. I'm your host, Dr. JOTA, and here we go with this longer video where we are talking about different stuff that we have about Real Madrid. Of course, there are plenty of news, and in this video, actually, I wanted to talk about how Real Madrid is going to look like by 2025 without Kylian Mbappe, which is something that really makes me excited about it, like every other single Madridista out there, just because the project that we have in hand right now, it's awesome, man. It's plenty of full of young players, rising stars, and there are multiple reasons to be happy about it. But before you get started with that, let me go ahead and talk about a couple different things I wanted to share with you, just because they have been recently tweeted, okay? So, for example, let's talk about Eden Hazard, right? Eden Hazard, according to the information from Mario Cortegana, was about to leave Real Madrid under different formulas, right? In the last 3 market windows. The reason for that is because it's pretty obvious. I mean, the player was not performing at the top level, and he was not not performing good during the games, but also his behavior, the poor practices that he used to perform or had. Ancelotti wasn't happy with him at all, right? It was an attitude thing, right? It was a behavior problem. So that's why Real Madrid decided to go ahead and say, okay, we have to get rid of this guy because he's no longer giving us anything. He's no longer the best player or one of the best players in the world. So we have to do something about it. And of course, we will have to sell the player to any team that is really interested in the players. So that is basically what Real Madrid has been trying to do over the last 3 markets, according to Mario Cortegana. But from Eden Hazard's side, it was a completely different story. Eden Hazard, according to Mario Cortegana, was always convinced, was always determined to succeed in Real Madrid, and that is the reason why he never thought about to leave Real Madrid. He never thought about quit. He never thought, okay, I'm gonna get out. He never thought about, okay, I'm coming back to Chelsea or whoever wants me or something like that, because he always wanted to stay in Real Madrid and do not let the things go down in the same way they were going down at that point. I mean, I think that he didn't want to quit. He didn't want to get out of Real Madrid without trying to convince the people he was still the very good player we knew before he signed for Real Madrid, right? So my opinion is kind of mixed feelings, considering he at some point he wasn't professional enough. He wasn't a top elite athlete enough, in my opinion. On the other hand, though, what I think about Eden Hazard when it comes to the Belgian player, it is that he is still talented enough to show everybody that he can do a good job still in Real Madrid. But I'm not quite sure, even after this Celtic game, I'm not quite sure how strong his will is going to be, right? How convinced is about to keep moving forward. You have to keep in mind, every time we have available to Karim Benzema, there won't be any chance for Eden Hazard to take over, right? It's got to be pretty much impossible for him. So I'm not quite sure about what is going to happen next, but let me be honest with you, I'm so happy he stayed, because at least he will have another opportunity to change our minds and make us think a different thing about him, right? So, but I'm not quite sure if he is going to get it, but I'm pretty sure he will try that. So let's see what happens. So I have more stuff over here, and it's about Leipzig. As you know, the other day, Leipzig decided to sack their coach, and now today it's been announced RB Leipzig have hired Marco Rose as their new manager. The former Borussia Dortmund coach will be taking over of Leipzig, which is, is this good news for Real Madrid? Is this bad news? let me tell you something. Every time a coach is sacked and they have to play against whoever it is always bad news. Why? Because the kind of instability the players are contemplating, the players are witnessing, is not good for their performance, right? So I'd say if they are about to face off Real Madrid, I mean, it's the perfect moment, it's the right moment for Real Madrid to take over and win the next Champions League game. And the good news here is we are playing in the Santiago Bernabeu Stadium, which is good because it's a home game, right? So all the odds are in our favor, right? So on top of that, if you add up the new manager who has to meet the players, who has to know every single detail about the players, he has to know his new team, the new tactics, what works, what it doesn't, and all these kind of things, right? I think it's a good thing for Real Madrid to take advantage of. So let's see how this thing goes down. But my opinion is it comes in the right moment for Real Madrid to walk over Leipzig, because let me tell you something, Leipzig is not an easy one, right? Leipzig is not a very easy game and not easy team, and we will have to sweat a little bit in order for us to win this game and for us to win the 3 points in the second game of the Champions. I mean, I would be awesome if we are able to get through it, but we will have to wait a little bit. And of course, the signing of Marco Rose as the new coach of Leipzig, to me, is good news, okay? It's totally good news. And now, let me keep moving forward and let me show you all what I shared in my Twitter about Real Madrid 2025, because it's the kind of look like that I wanted to see in my team, or I want to see my team for the future without Kylian Mbappe. And this makes a lot of sense considering Kylian Mbappe has been talking about Real Madrid. I think it was yesterday or maybe 2 days ago or something. He was talking about Real Madrid. He hinted actually that Real Madrid or Madrid is like his house or something like that. But not many people bought the product. I mean, not many Madridistas out there said, "Oh, okay, we're fine with that." I think that we would go ahead and sign Kylian Mbappe right now. No. That's not the feeling, that's not the sensation we have, okay? So for Real Madrid 2025, the look like would be like this. Vinicius, Rodrigo, also, I mean, confirmed in a solid shape, in a solid way, outstanding, outplaying everybody else and becoming the first ones and becoming the best ones and all this stuff. But also all the players that are about to come to Real Madrid or are yet to come to Real Madrid and play, like Endrick, Haaland or Jude Bellingham. That is the picture that I have in my mind for Real Madrid 2025 or even 2024. So we cannot rule out the possibility for us to see a Real Madrid like that not next year, but within 2 years or something like that, because I think the Real Madrid is still monitoring and tracking the situation of some of the best players in the world and super young players. It is true though, according to Jose Felix Diaz, Real Madrid is looking for his own Erling Haaland and create it out of the second team in Castilla. That's why we signed 3 different forwards this season, right? Like Iker Bravo, Noel, and there's another one I can't recall the name, but Real Madrid is working on that. Real Madrid cannot rely anymore in signing super big stars when they are already consolidated, right? So we have to find the kind of raw material to build out of that the next rising star, Erling Haaland, Endrick, or whoever it is. Otherwise, we are going to pay a lot of money for players that, in my opinion, are not that worth, right? For example, for Kylian Mbappe, you have to pay about 200 million or maybe 150 or something like that. For Endrick, it's got to be the same, maybe 60 million. For Jude Bellingham, it's about 100 million. I mean, it's a lot of money, right? So if you think about it, if you are able to build up out of the second team, out of Castilla, another forward, another player who is super valuable and becomes more and more important and better, my opinion is we are going to save a lot of money over the time. But that is not something we can figure ahead of the time, right? We have to wait a little bit more, take the risk and sign the players we think they are going to break it, they are going to crash it in the future. So we still don't know, we're still not sure about it, but let's see if we are lucky enough to see all these changes and all this stuff going on in Real Madrid in the future. But of course we will need a little bit more time, so let's see of course what happens. So this is pretty much the appearance of Real Madrid by 2025. Now let me know your thoughts about that. Just comment in the section below, and of course subscribe my channel and hit the bell button, just because if you're not, if you are subscribed but you don't click on the bell button, the problem is every time I upload a video, you won't know that I am uploading a video or something. So that's why it's so important for y'all to hit the bell button, so YouTube notify y'all every time I upload video, I'm streaming or something like that. Okay guys, so see you in the next video.